Question 2. Children from schools A and B took part in a fun run for charity. The times to the nearest minute taken by the children from school A are summarized in the figure below. Write down the time by which 75% of the children in school A had completed the run. Remember that box plot splits the data into quarters or into segments of 25%. So 25% of the students had finished the run within this section here. So 25% had finished the run within 25 minutes. So 25% had finished the run within this section here. 25% of them had finished it within 25 minutes. Half of them, 50%, had finished it by 30 minutes. And 75 of them had finished the run by this time here. Okay, so looking in on the graph paper, what value would we say that is? I would say 37 minutes. Okay, this particular value has a name. What have we marked off at this particular point here? Well, this is your upper quartile, or Q3, but we'll give it its full name, the upper quartile. Okay, so next we were asked to explain what the two crosses represent on the box plot and interpret these in context. So we already know that we use those crosses to identify outliers, anything that was significantly far away from the interquartile range from the box of the box plot. So those are outliers. What do they mean in this context? So this is the context of students running a fun run. So these would be two students who are actually quite slow at running, or maybe they even walked instead of ran. Okay, so for school B, the least time taken by any of the children was 25 minutes and the longest time was 55 minutes. The three quartiles were 30, 37 and 50 minutes respectively. Use Q3 plus 1.5 multiplied by the interquartile range and Q1 minus 1.5 multiplied by the interquartile range. We recognize both of those to determine if there are any outliers. Give a reason for your conclusion. Okay, so we'll start with the Q3 plus 1.5 IQR, substituting those values in. So we've got 50. So we've got 50 plus 1.5 times the interquartile range of 20, which will give us an answer of 80. All right, and just checking again, the maximum time taken was 55 minutes. So there is nothing above this particular outlier boundary. Let's just check if there are any outliers at the other end. Okay, so that's 30 minus 30, which gives us 0. Definitely nobody did it in less than 0 minutes. So actually it seems like there are no outliers for this particular situation. All of the data, the maximum time taken and the minimum time taken, are within the limits for the outlier boundaries. Okay, so that maximum value of 55 was less than 80, and the minimum value of 25 was greater than 0, therefore no outliers. Okay, so next we're actually asked to produce on graph paper a horizontal box plot to represent the data from school B. So the distribution of the times taken from the fun run by both schools can be easily compared. Okay, so let's start with our maximum and our minimum, 25 and 55. Then the lower quartile, the upper quartile, and the median. Okay, those have all been marked off. There were no outliers, so we'll just finish off the box part of the box plot. And this is exactly what we're looking for. Okay, we were asked to make sure that it could be easily compared, so the scaling must have matched the scaling that we had for school A. And since the question said make them comparable, I'm assuming we are going to make some comparisons. And we can see in part E, that's exactly what we've been asked to do. Compare and contrast the two distributions in context. Okay, so not just a comparison, but also some context. Okay, let's bring back in school A. It's a 3-mark question, so I think we must make at least 3 points. The first one, let's talk about the median. All right, so school B has the larger median. What does that actually mean in context? It means in school B, the median time to finish the race was higher. They took longer. The median time to finish the race was a higher value. Okay, what else can we discuss here? We can talk about the spread. So looking at the interquartile range, the interquartile range for school B was also larger. What does that mean? That means that there is a larger variation of finishing times for school B. Okay, two more things that I can think of to make comparisons on. We still have the skewness to talk about. And if we have a look, actually both of them have positive skew. And finally, the fact that school A has outliers while school B does not. Okay, and those are the four comparisons. It was a 3-mark question, so you would have only needed 3 of these, but these were all the things that I thought that jump out straight away. These were all the things that jump out straight away from these box plot diagrams. Be careful not to make equivalent statements when you're making your comparisons. For example, to say the median of school A was smaller is equivalent to saying the median of school B was larger, so you wouldn't get an additional mark from making that statement. Okay, all of these mathematically using the words median, interquartile range, skewness, outliers, accompanied with contextual explanations will be worth all of your marks.